Greetings. Welcome to beautiful Luther Memorial Church here in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Andrew Schaeffer, Director of Music. Growing up as I did in the Lutheran Church, I heard my fair share of the hymn, Children of the Heavenly Father. And if you grew up Lutheran, you probably did as well, especially in the Swedish tradition. And it was because it was written by a Swede. It has been used primarily at funerals, but also at baptisms, which makes it a really beautiful way to tie the cycle of life together. The hymn, I said, was written by a Swede, Carolina Sandell. Her father was a Lutheran pastor in Sweden, and she received an excellent education and became fluent in many different languages, including, of course, Swedish, Norwegian, German, and English. Throughout her life, she played with words, and she was a poet, a prolific poet, writing over 2,000 hymns and poems. And in fact, she earned the nickname the Fanny Crosby of Sweden. And if you don't know who Fanny Crosby is, chances are you probably sung one of her hymns in the past. So I encourage you to go to the search engine and look up Fanny Crosby. So the Fanny Crosby of Sweden. Of course, her most popular hymn was Children of the Heavenly Father, or I should say, is Children of the Heavenly Father, which curiously enough, she wrote very early on in her career when she was only 17 years old. Legend has it that she wrote it while seated on the branch of a large ash tree that stood in the parsonage yard where she grew up. And from that spot on a warm summer evening, she could hear to the constant twitter of the birds. Again, back when Twitter was a good thing to be hearing. As they hid in their nests among the green leaves, and from there she could watch the stars as they began to appear. Her impressions of this beautiful nature fortified the biblical concepts of the security of God's children. And that part of it is from a quote written on her life. Tragically, from the time she was 17, throughout her life, she was met with many, many different challenges along the way. At age 28, she lost her sister to tuberculosis. Her husband, later on in life, lost his business shortly before they had their only child, who was stillborn. And if that was not enough grief, several years later, went out on a boat with her father. She watched him helplessly drown in a boating accident. Yet throughout the years of her life, the words of Job were paraphrased in the fourth stanza of this hymn. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away, blessed be the name of the Lord. Really was her mantra throughout her life. She died in 1903 at the age of 71. And unsurprisingly, the choir sang Children of the Heavenly Father at her funeral. But the congregation couldn't help but joining in, and accounts of that funeral say that the building swelled with people passionately singing her beloved hymn in her memory. The setting I'm going to play today is actually by a Chicago area-based Lutheran composer in Krentz, Oregon. I've actually done one other piece throughout this series by Anne. She's a wonderful composer, and I think you'll enjoy this very fresh take on this timeless hymn.